Good morning, my fellow Oxens. It is Sunday, August 11th. It's your boy Cedrico in the house. Watch your mouth. Accompanied by?
Uncle Keys. I'm not going by any other alias.
Oh, why not? What's the energy?
Not going by any other aliases.
Oh, what a surprise.
I've gotten body bagged for my alias name, so I'm just going to shut the fuck up this time.
Did you get body bagged?
Got body bagged.
That's a shame.
No, it's not.
Chains. I'm sitting here. They always had like a single alias, so yeah.
Yeah, next week I'll bring it back, but this week,
Next week.
playing the low key this week.
Yeah,
Gotta come up with something more new and fresh.
Untuck your nuts and get it together.
I'm gonna put them on your forehead after. Go ahead.
Gross. We are following regular programming. We're back to our regular show podcast, and we're here to talk about what men want. And this is in terms of relationships, but we'll discuss that in a moment. But in the meantime, we're going to do 2 cents on recent events. Do anybody want to kick this off?
You want to kick this off, Chain?
Yeah, sure. My 2 cents on recent events is recently there was a situation in New York at a hair salon where a man had killed his significant other. Is it a wife?
Oh,
It was
Ex-wife.
in the
Okay.
salon,
Ex-wife.
huh?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah, no, it was just really graphic. I had seen it. I was getting a haircut on Friday, and one of the barbers was showing it, and it's just really, really tough to watch. And it's just insane to think that, you know, somebody could really bring themselves to that point where they can take the life of someone that they claim that they love, and then just to kind of see him lay there on
He
top
held
of
the
her
body, right?
until like the police came, and it was just really, really sad. And it's just, you know, I think going off of what we discussed last week as far as like double standards and just how, like, you know, women have this thing where maybe they have to give out their number for their own safety. It just goes to show that it's still relevant. It's still poignant in today. And
That shit's crazy.
yeah, so I'm glad we got to address it last week. But that's my 2 cents on recent events. Really sad situation. Men, we need to do better in certain aspects. And just women, please just be mindful of this controlling, abusive people and just try to really separate yourself as safely and as soon as you can. So,
And I'm pretty
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are red flags
yeah.
in a relationship, but I think as soon as you see,
We should have added red flags. to that
yeah, we
segment.
should have. But you know, it is what it is. Maybe
Right.
we can address it another time.
Right.
But in a relationship or when you're dealing with somebody else, I think if you're taking note of these red flags with another person that you know are interested in or want to date or want to take it to the next level with, I think you need to take it into a consideration and put yourself first before anything else. Because these, I know things can go smooth at first, but then shit can just go left. So
And in that same token, like, I think women do, like, they notice the red flags, but even when they try to get away, it's like they're still being stalked,
Right.
they're still being attacked. So it's like there's really no escape for them, and that's like the fucked up part. Like, they have to literally protect themselves at all costs, and like no woman has to like walk around with a knife or pepper spray just to go to the damn store. Like that's.
I think they still need
That's
to have that
nonsense.
shit.
Oh
in
yeah,
their purse.
absolutely.
Like,
Get the strap.
That's
get,
a necessity.
Get your gun license, ladies.
That's
Pop
that's a
these
necessity.
fools. Pop these fools.
Well, yeah. My 2 cents on recent events is a little interesting. There was a top 50
Oh, the rap list.
rap list. Let me just say this. Everybody has their own opinion about who their top 50 rappers are. Just because a certain list hit the internet, hit the social media wave, doesn't necessarily mean it has to fall in place like that. Y'all decapitated Joe Budden's life. Like, y'all killed him. Y'all made it seem as if he can't even be mentioned in the top 50.
They thought he made it.
No, he ain't make that shit. He retired. Like, he don't even want nothing to do with rap anymore.
My only problem with the list is that there was no criteria in which it was based upon.
Nothing. It was
Like,
a
if you
pure
would have told me,
opinion.
like, off of mixtapes or off of, like, anything that would then support Joe Budden as being number 3, then, like, I could see your point. But because there was no context provided, I didn't even pay attention to the list. I was like, I'm not giving this no leeway.
And
So,
y'all had, and then there was certain names that fell after certain people.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't pay attention to that shit, please. Unless all rappers get together and put a list up together,
The
then
rap
go off.
committee.
Yeah, the rap committee. Like
Comes together.
let them put the
Yeah.
list together and then decide afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
stop. Y'all put too much attention on little ass things, and it becomes this big ass
Yeah.
wave of like, what the fuck is this? So
One thing I do want to say about that, I'm sick and tired of Tupac and Biggie being on lists. I just think we should take them off a list.
No.
Like, we understand their
No,
legacy,
no,
but like just to
no.
continuously put them in there, a large part because of their death, I just think we just need to stop.
Well, I feel
So
like
let's just give them their appreciation. They're legends, but let's just not put them in lists.
So would it be like top 100?
No. Like they're like God level. They're God tier. You
So
don't need to
just
put them
don't-
in
I
there
see-
no more.
I
Like,
see you
just-
got Biggie, Tupac,
yeah.
then you have the list. That's
yeah,
what you're saying.
like
I got you.
them and then the list.
I got you.
So let's do that.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you. Got you.
that's
got
all
you,
I'm saying.
Got you.
I hate those lists too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, sex trafficker accuser Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He killed himself.
So
Committed
they
suicide.
say.
In jail, right?
So they say. That's what the reports say. But he was under suicidal watch 24/7
Yeah.
and to turn up dead after, he had some shit to say
Mm-hmm.
that may put some people in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just happens out of the blue like
Funny
that.
how that works. Yeah.
And
I
I'm gonna just leave
mean,
it at I'm gonna just leave it as that.
I mean,
Just leave it as that.
it's a very mysterious death, but if you
Just-
want to take your own life due to certain mistakes you've made in your life,
Mm-hmm.
it's on you, bruh. It's on you, bruh.
The
saying
hell
like
with
it's
them all.
okay? Like
No, it's just
oh, yeah.
it's just the dynamic of it, of
The
what everything
hell
has been going
with
on.
them
Like
all.
you've been accused, you've been caught. This is what's going on, and then
Okay.
you choose to do this. This is, I feel like, a bitch ass way to go out because you can't face up to certain things you've done. But everything is mysterious. Now, like you actually don't know until like next year. Like, here's the real story right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no take on it.
Well, good riddance. Don't
I know
feel
he was
sorry for
wealthy
him.
though, right? Yeah. I wonder where all that money went.
Fuck him. Moving on. Moving on. Our segment is what do men want
Pause.
in terms of relationships, and we have a few questions we are going to elaborate on. First question is, what do we look for in relationships?
That's a pretty general fucking
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Chain, you taking a deep breath like you was about
I'm trying to
say.
really figure it out. I'm just really trying to compartmentalize a lot of my thoughts.
I just
So,
think what we look for,
Yeah.
it changes on a relationship to relationship
why it's so
basis.
hard.
So
Yeah.
it's tough to narrow down one thing
Yeah.
or just a top 5 things you're looking
Right.
for, because what works in the last one doesn't work in the new
same
one.
yeah.
And sometimes you got to change certain things about yourself in order to make things work in a new relationship.
Okay, so say
But I
if
can
you're-
give you like a general like 3 things. in a
say if
relationship.
you're just starting out,
Yeah.
right?
In a relationship, not talking.
Yep. Say if you have like what are your foundation, like what are your foundation things?
I say I say intimacy is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I say
Just don't look at me.
he looked at me and
You looked
squinted
at me
like
first.
he was like, "What the fuck? What are you about to say?"
Go
I
on.
feel like
Yeah.
like there has to be some type of good vibe, some type of good connection there in order for the relationship to work. I'm a big vibes and connections type of person, so I solely go based on that.
Oh,
if
you
that
spirit-
shit ain't there,
You spiritual now?
well,
The
you know, as
chakra.
Guru Keys,
Oh, stop.
as Guru Keys, Keys the Guru. These are the things that I go off of. I
All
like
right.
my incense. I do my sage around people.
You got sage?
I cleanse the air of auras and everything around me. So fuck you, Cedric. No, that's my biggest thing in a relationship is vibes. To start off, you said at the beginning, right?
Yeah, so
Oh
like,
yeah, to start off.
those are the things you
off.
look for as a foundation.
Yeah, besides
Okay.
looks and other shit, but
All
other
right.
things, yeah, vibes. I like vibes.
Fair. Chain?
It's really hard to kind of describe. I just feel like as I grow and as I evolve, I start to value like different things. So,
Facts.
you know, when you're 22, there's maybe certain things that you expect in a partner, or certain
Ass.
values that you have that maybe not be the most sustainable thing. So, I just feel like as I evolve, I'm always kind of reevaluating what it is that I look for. So it's really kind of hard to give you like some stuff.
So if you can name
Yeah.
one thing that you would look in, like
I
you
think
would
trust.
look for,
Trust. You know, I need to feel safe that I can trust you.
trust,
So trust, chemistry, trust, chemistry,
respect.
respect. Yeah, respect needs to be there. That's huge. So I think like those would probably be like my building blocks if I'm looking for in like a relationship. But it's really like that can definitely change like next week. Maybe
Right.
trust isn't so much of a factor, but something else is. So maybe there's something that in addition to what I have, I want that to be a part of it. So yeah,
Nice.
thanks.
What I look for, just understanding. Just that alone, I think everything else branches off of understanding. Once you have a clear understanding of the person, your potential partner, and who you're about to deal with, just getting a clear understanding of who they are as a person, what kind of habits do they have. Just noticing things early on, so that way you can distinguish how you can approach certain things on their behalf. So basically, for me, just having an understanding is what I look for.
What exactly would it be an understanding of, though?
Just as understanding as a person, just overall how they handle certain things, what type of sentiments, how they handle certain situations.
But this is at the beginning, though.
Huh?
So, but this is at the beginning of the relationship, right?
Right.
But
Or just
so if there's an understanding, wouldn't it be like later as you get into the relationship to see what you will actually have an understanding on?
I mean,
Or is understanding one another is the overall starting point?
yeah, you just you casually like you learn as you go on. Like I can learn 50 things about somebody just based off a 10-minute conversation, and just reading off body language and seeing where the mind is at. When it comes to discussing certain things, you can actually learn and come to an understanding of, okay, I can see why he's that way or why she's that way when it comes to this, that, and the third. And then you can just approach certain things.
Got you.
Yeah. We clear on that?
Yeah, we're clear.
Smooth.
Just wanted a clearer understanding of the understanding.
Yeah.
So.
Did you get enough clarity, or you need some more?
No. I need no more clarity. Cedric.
Smooth. All right, moving on. What are some deal breakers in a relationship?
Selfishness. I don't appreciate selfishness at all. If I feel like it's all about you, or just whatever it is rotates around you in this relationship, then it's just not going to be a relationship for long. So I feel like I have like a good sense of when that's coming, or how people are. And if I feel like that about you, then it's probably not gonna happen. Like I'm not gonna invest time and energy into people who I feel like are selfish and only take. So
but in essence, you mean like a person who's just all about me before anything else in a relationship.
So just like, So like, I mean, I'm very mindful of like time. Like I value time so much. And sometimes I just need to be about myself. Like I just been a long day at work. I just want to be left by myself. And if it's all about you and what it is that I need to do to help you or to like make sure that you have everything you want, it's just not going to work. Like sometimes I just need space. Sometimes I just want to be left alone. And if you can't understand that or just, allow me to have that space, then it's not going to work out. So just kind of selfishness.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's one.
That's one.
That's one.
Anything else as deal breakers that you would consider?
I mean, it used to be like non-substantial things like smoking at one point in time. Like if you were smoking, I really wasn't kind of giving you any time or day. Just because I felt like
smoking
the habit.
What?
Just like cigarettes, one. Just even weed, too. I just felt like...
Respect Cedric.
Yeah. Even like smoking weed, I just felt like a lot of times people were putting their time and resources into like getting weed. And I was like, well, you spending 35 on whatever it is instead of like... But you claim to be broke when we go to the movies. Like, I'm not going for that. So
that is the life now.
I know.
True.
I know. So I just wasn't really respectful of that. Like, it doesn't really bother me as much because I just don't run in those circles that would do that. But yeah, but it's not something crazy.
Do you think that will place some type of burden on you?
Would it place some type of burden on me? Yeah, because if you broke and you asking me for stuff because you don't know how to manage your money or because you're prioritizing the wrong things, you're going to try to come to me. Like,
you said when they're broken asking you for
stuff. I'm not going for that. And even if you're not broke, women will try to use it like, hey, it'd be nice if someone could help me with this. I'm like, that would be nice. Not me.
That's valid.
So it's just like selfishness. I mean, there's some other stuff, but I don't want to monopolize this conversation over here.
You can monopolize it. No. It's okay. It's okay. You can monopolize it.
Rapid fire.
Get your shit out.
Get it off your chest, bro.
Get that off your conscience. Go ahead.
I think that's enough for now.
We're here for you, fellow oxen. That's what we're here for. Therapy.
I mean, I'm not hurt. Like, you're making it seem like I need to vent and express myself. Like, I'm not hurt,
I
yo.
feel like you secretly yelled at somebody
saying.
right now. Like you just told somebody about themselves or something.
Nah.
Probably past experience.
I'm pretty clear.
Facts.
about
Well,
who
everybody
that.
gonna speak on past
Yeah.
experience and stuff like that.
So you?
Deal breakers in a relationship.
Mm.
There's a lot of things to mention,
Yeah.
but one thing that actually stands out to me, I don't like when people do a complete like 360 in a relationship.
Meaning?
It's like we
you know,
doing
like 360 is just like the same space again, right?
what?
When people do a 360, they're in like the same space. They just turned around.
Yeah,
They're the same person.
and the
You mean like
same-
180?
Okay, like a 180. So
Gotcha.
like do like
Or
a
240.
interfering.
You can do a
or
240.
a 1080. I don't know.
Right.
You
Just
do
not
240.
360 because then you're in the same spot.
Well, I'm just no. But
My
I'm just
bad.
saying everything is. We start off good and we're going along in this relationship, and then all of a sudden these things aren't being done anymore. Now I see a brand new side to you
Oh.
that I've never even fucking seen before, and now I gotta figure out how to cope with this. I gotta figure out how to deal with it.
Yep.
I have to figure out how to deal with a new attitude. I got to figure out how to deal with a new set of ways that you got that I didn't know that you have going into it.
Not
So
to cut you off. Have you stopped to think, why has that person turned out to be that way, or why has that person?
it now becomes a discussion because now if we sit down and I'm trying to get to the source of the issue in terms of why this is going on, but I still get interference with all of that, then it has to be like a personal thing that you're dealing with. Now I get it. There's a lot of things that can happen within a relationship. I don't like the switching up shit. I don't like, because I would never switch up on somebody. You see what I'm saying? I'm not that type of person. But to actually receive something like that, it's like now you just shoot me in my fucking face. You see what I'm saying? So it's
One thing in addition to that would just be like complacency. So like if a relationship's going well and then you want to stop doing what it is that
Like
made
getting
me
too
want to
comfortable.
be with you,
Yeah.
like no, don't do that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But that's
don't
what I'm
do that,
saying. It's
yeah,
like what
complacency.
happened to all this shit
Yeah.
before?
And now that you think you got me, you feel like you can settle and just like not do what it is. Yeah.
And I think
But
that's
that goes both ways though.
It do.
So
It
that's
do.
okay.
It do. It
So you
do.
gotta always check to see like, hey, am I doing the same things that was once like warranted?
But
or
that's
once-
why
yeah.
I choose to sit down and have a conversation
Yep.
about the shit. If I'm
Yep.
putting it out, obviously you know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? If you're questioning something,
Or
you know
what
what
you're not doing.
and you know
either,
what
so-
you're not doing. So if we sit down and I still can't get that, then I don't fucking know. Like,
So
I fucking know you now.
How deep into a relationship, when that happens, how deep into a relationship you have to be? Like, where does those signs come about in a relationship?
It can honestly come at any time because I feel like once they start to become this person that you don't fucking know anymore, it's like it can come within 4 months of a relationship. It can come within a year. It can come within 2 years. I don't think longevity can play a factor in it, even though it can.
It could come at any point.
Yeah,
in time.
it can just start
It's
anywhere.
all subjective. So.
So yeah, that's my deal breaker in a relation when people just completely switch up on all type of levels. So
Like switch up or complacency. I think we were adding both.
I can say both.
Okay.
I say both.
Touche. For me, lack of accountability.
Ooh, the blame game, huh?
For someone, people who don't hold themselves accountable throughout whatever it is are just, I wouldn't even call it, I'm not going to go that far to say redundant, but you're pretty damn selfish and ignorant.
Tough
Because
words.
those be the people to dish out but can't receive. So like, you can tell me about myself.
But you can't tell them about themselves.
The moment I do it, just being truthful, not to be harsh or anything like that, you get offended. You're constantly being on the defensive side instead of empathizing and putting yourself in my shoes. Like, okay, I can see where this person is coming from. My bad, won't happen again. Let's discuss some things where this situation won't happen again, and we can have a smooth sailing. But to deny it blatantly, so you're basically calling me a liar for number one, and practically you're telling me that I'm pulling this out of my ass.
What's an
No.
example of this? Just to really illustrate the point that you want. So just like a lack of account, like something that you do, and then vice versa would be like a lack of accountability. Just for an illustration.
Something like,
Try to use
you
one.
forgot to wish me a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just missed the whole day without communicating.
Okay.
I call you out
Why you gotta
on
look
it.
at me like I ain't saying happy birthday? to you,
I
motherfucker?
call you out on it,
Yeah.
and you come up with an excuse instead of trying to make it up. You're just going to try to argue me down and not, hold yourself accountable of your wrong, not necessarily a wrongdoing, but like just consideration.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lack of a consideration thing too.
Would I just feel like accountability can it can just vary. So if I was
It can.
accountable, like I didn't do it. Is that like the kind of responsibility you're looking for people to take on?
Or
So just in that
basically
situation,
just
like-
admitting
Right,
that you
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
do
Yeah.
it instead of getting into a discussion as to.
Just
Mhm.
admit your wrongdoing. Like
I
if
see.
I tell you you're wrong about something, and we both know that it's wrong, and you still don't, and you still trying to deflect it and still be on a defensive mode. It's just like, why am I even discussing anything with you? Like, I'm just gonna shut down as a person, and that's not gonna be good for any of us. Because now I know that I can't discuss or go through any trials or tribulations with you without,
I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
So yeah,
So accountability and being
lack
able
of
to just own
consideration.
up to your shit.
yeah, lack of consideration and lack of accountability. I think that just both coincides with each other.
Because I was thinking more like the blame game, like
What do you mean?
in that sense.
Yeah.
You know,
You-
they didn't say happy birthday to you, and they bring it up like,
Like,
oh, well,
oh,
you said happy birthday to me, but my day didn't turn out like you didn't do this X, Y, and Z for my birthday, so that's why I didn't say it to you. You see what I'm saying? Like they blaming you for the reason why they're not doing the shit.
Well, that can be just one thing in itself, just
Mhm.
the blame game, or just being petty and
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
being combative. But yeah, do we believe in polygamy?
It's a
That's
hard
when-
transition.
That's when you have two wives, right?
Multiple.
Polygamy, multiple.
Oh, you can
wives.
have multiple. You
Yeah.
can have like 5.
But like
Yeah,
also
it got
women
mad
have
excited for
yeah.
no fucking reason.
No, I thought it was like 2 at most.
No,
and
be multiple.
concubines. Like, you
Oh
can-
shit! Don't they have that out in like India? Some shit. Some dude got
There's a
like
few, there's a couple
100,000
of different
100
countries that
wives?
They
A
allow
lot of
it.
Muslim countries.
That's
allow for that to
fire.
happen as well.
Well, well, that's a different.
I believe if I'm reading these questions in terms of do I believe it can work, then yes, because there are
Really?
religions and it's apparent. Like
Personally, you think it can work?
yeah, I do.
So you can make 5 wives work. Yeah, like you can make that situation work.
If I can find 5 dedicated women who
5
can who can commit to the goal out to commit
What
to a
the
bigger
fuck
goal
is
outside
5
of us,
dedicated
besi-
women?
all ego aside, then yeah, I can make 5 women work.
5 dedicated women to being your wives, and like
Absolutely.
no.
Five
You
committed, all
find 5
egos aside.
zombies. If you find 5 zombies who don't care,
Yeah.
don't have any pride
Mm-mm.
or ego, it can work.
That's
Sounds
just-
like
I
slaves.
think nah, not slaves. I
That's
think
what it
works.
sounds like.
Shane just said you need 5 dead bodies.
You need-
sitting there.
Good
I
chemistry.
That's
wanted
what
for
that
you to
sounds
put a
like.
ring on it.
Good chemistry. Just like give
Fuck
give
outta here.
vibes.
No.
Good
Fuck
vibes.
no. No.
It could work.
No,
It
no.
could work.
It could not fucking
It could work. It's happening somewhere in the world right
Hey,
now.
it ain't
So
happening
there's
with
no
me.
there's no
Fuck no, I don't want
just-
5 wives. Leave
Okay,
me
so
alone. No.
okay, so don't put your burdens
No,
on
I'm
somebody
putting my
else
burdens
living
up because you
somebody's
full of
living
shit
their
right
best
now.
life right now.
Fuck outta
100
here.
damn wives in the temple,
Oh,
kumbayan in
So-
front of the damn campfire on some black sand
fuck
with
outta
some
here.
Moet.
No.
So think about your most combative relationship with like a woman that you've had. So now you multiply it by 5. You can deal with that.
Fuck no, you gonna be. Listen,
I mean, I know you had
Can I-
some trials going on with with just people in the past. Now imagine going through that with 5 people. You think
5
that can
women
work?
of the same mindset.
You think
I
that
know they
can
all
work?
have the
You
same mindset.
fucking-
Even
what?
if they have different
Women
mindsets, there's
change.
always going to be a situation where maybe you didn't do something or something goes awry. You mean to tell me you're going to be doing problem solving for 5 different people, 5 different personalities?
I think
You don't got the
there's-
juice like that.
There's
It's not
room-
even like
there's room for improvement. There's room for everybody to get some work.
That's like being a hoe in a good way. Like that's being a hoe with 5 contracts. Like that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's just you thotting and bopping with 5 women. You
but
put
like
a ring on
I
with.
think
You're in agreements with them through contract. Like I
think you're really just thinking about like the physical
Nah.
benefit of it. But I'm just thinking like emotionally, you really have to be available to
Emotionally-
5 other people.
Emotionally, it is going to be dicey, but overall, with women, they're like the most powerful, mindful species, and that can.
But that's what you're
everything out.
hoping for. Like, what if that's not the case?
If
What if
that's the
you get
case,
one
in a
as
fucking
dumb
abort
as-
mission.
as blank as bricks. Just
If
it's
it-
just plain Jane.
If
Don't
all
think and nothing.
fails, abort fucking mission. I'm
Shit, that's 5
Skydiving.
lawsuits right there.
So
It's
just-
like, it's like, oh yeah, you know, everybody just
Wait, how do you know it goes to 500? What if it's just one?
one what?
One contract, just 5
No, there's
signatures.
separate contracts for each marriage that you have. It's a marriage certificate.
How do you know
for
that?
Do you know that?
I don't know that. That's why I'm asking
I
you.
just know based off of
So-
what I know.
After
So,
after
do you know that for certain?
after our discussion that we just had, if we re-ask the question, do you believe in polygamy? Do you still feel the same way? Just after the small discussion
Yes,
we
he
had.
does.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck no, I don't believe in no
Yeah.
damn polygamy. Are you crazy?
Why?
I don't want to be with one wife. Then I
And
get.
then you get into it with one. You walk down the hall. There's 3 more on the other side of the house.
They all stay in the same house.
Why not?
Oh my! You like yeah?
You know-
I think
you
you,
know,
want
like,
to slay like a
what's his
sex
name?
slave. That's
Wait,
what you want.
Dan.
Just last week,
Dan Bell.
you said you don't understand how guys can just go through women like that, just like be done with them and then just move on to the
Thank
next
you.
chick.
Fact
They're
check
married.
this bald-headed.
Yeah, so you're just gonna be done with one wife and just go to the next wife.
If
Like
I
I'll
get
go
into
to
an
wife
argument
B.
with one, I'm
I'm
going
just gonna
down the
up and
hall.
leave to
And then
go
she
to
gonna
wife.
come
hang
in
with
that
the
room
rest
and
of
she
them.
But
gonna
that's what I'm
smack the
telling
shit
you.
out
Like emotionally, you're not available for that one. Like you need to get through that because if it was just
She
that
ain't-
one
ain't
person,
no
you would
emotions.
want to get
Ain't-
it fixed.
ain't
Like
no
you would want
emotions.
that
If
she-
situation to be
Remember, he
fixed.
we
thinking
get
with
into
2 brains.
No, if we get into an argument and then if she just wants her space,
Yeah.
why aren't I allowed to leave? Give her a space.
No, you're not allowed.
Go
You're
down
not-
to the
Yeah.
collective when you're ready.
Oh,
Come down as a
God. So-
collective. Let's have circle time.
Are they paying rent in these fucking rooms that you do having them in?
Yes.
What? Those are your wives.
This is
What
a
are you
collective unit.
I don't believe in polygamy at all.
what's-
Like,
what's-
no. Give me
what's your
one.
deal?
Just give me one to work with. If this don't go, I'll find somebody else while I'm single.
Why go through all of that
No,
when you
no.
when you know 5? When
What
you
if
know,
you- what if
when
they
you
go
know
through
off
5
the bat,
divorces?
you got to go through a whole
That's
goddamn
half of
relationship.
everything you
got to
got.
walk from the bottom. Is that what you
Outta
want?
here. No.
Huh?
Fuck no.
Is this what you want?
So if one of them cheat on you, you can't get mad.
That's infidelity.
You're a fucking liar. You're a liar.
That's infidelity.
You're a liar.
That's infidelity, and I'm taking my ring back.
Yeah, here we go. I don't believe in
But-
polygamy. I don't believe it. Change. Do you believe in polygamy? Polygamy?
I don't know.
Oh, see, he's on the fence.
No,
on
like
the fence.
initially, I didn't believe in it. I mean, but there are some religious aspects, and I mean, if that's the religion, then who am I to say like that's wrong? I would never point to a religion and say that it's
Thank you,
wrong.
Chain.
Personally.
Wait, no. Personally,
Personally.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm really
Uh-huh.
committed to one person. I think I put a lot of energy into one person. I couldn't imagine having to do that for 5 different people. Like if I plan a surprise party for you, I got to do it for 5 other people. I just don't know if emotionally I could be available for just
Okay,
multiple people
it
like
seems
that.
like you guys are stuck on
Wait,
5.
wait.
Let's
I'm
trim
not.
it down to 2.
No.
That's I mean,
No.
if it's 2, now here's the
I'm
thing.
having a
Like
side chick wife and a main wife.
Wait, hold, state your answer. You had your turn, asshole. Let
Fucking
Chain
side
go.
chick
here's
wife.
here's the situation. Like I don't think I could be at the head of like a polygamous relationship. So if you think about it, you think about Lou Williams, D. Ray Davis. Like they had 2 girlfriends. They were at the centerpiece, and then it was like the 2 women. involved.
Blueface.
Yeah, Blueface. Yeah, let's not talk about it. But I think if the situation was reversed, I think if you turn that triangle like upside down and you have like 2 women who are really in love with one another and they have a relationship and they see me as an addition, then I think I could be a part of it, knowing
We're
that
not
like
talking
I'm
about
not,
a threesome right now. 'Cause
I'm
that's
not
what it
saying
fucking
that.
sounded like.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying in a polygamous relationship, if that were to be the case, then I think I could see myself doing it. I can't see myself being the head of any multiple relationship. Like I just don't want to do that.
So
I don't
you
want to
and
put in
2
that
women.
energy.
No, like you being ahead, and then you have.
I couldn't
2
be at
wives.
I couldn't be at the forefront of that relationship. Like if it's a situation that I'm bought into or an addition, or they see that I can be helpful, but they like one another. Because like at the end of the day, if the relationship doesn't work out, just like people gotta go.
So let
but
me-
if I left, like they're still together.
So let me get this.
But
shit-
I don't.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me the 2 women have to already be in a relationship with each other,
For me personally,
and then
like
they bring
if it
you
was a
in
situation,
after to play
I could see myself playing
mediator,
that
part-time
role.
dingaling in the relationship, and then
If there were 2 women who just see me as an addition, I really like the traits that I could bring to their relationship, and I could be bought in, then I wouldn't mind that. But I would not actively seek out to date 2 women.
this sounds like a TV show here. That's a nice little. That's a nice little. What you call it? A storyline.
I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you want to call it. Yeah.
So you think it can work based off of you being the addition to something that they're missing?
I'm just talking about like me personally, like in
yeah,
general.
but that's what I'm saying.
But even if you think about it, like in general, in just society, think about like guys who have multiple baby mothers. Wouldn't it just be like more productive just to like be in
Bind
some
'em,
type
right?
of situation where you can take care of all your kids and everybody's on the same page.
Put them all in one.
Like if you
home.
think about it, like wouldn't that be it?
One big home.
I'm
Let 'em all
afraid
live there.
if whenever you get wealthy, don't call me with no fucking bullshit issues you got going on in the house. That is your own doing.
I'm gonna invite you to the village.
Fuck
money.
no.
I'm gonna invite y'all to the village.
No.
Welcome.
I'll visit and then leave that same fucking hour.
Welcome to the village, guys.
Yeah.
You fucking find good new ways of thought and bop. That's what you doing.
Relax, kid.
Yeah. I just don't feel like you can really give your all or commit to somebody 100% if you have to do it 5 different times.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's sustainable. I don't really think it can work. I think people really have to take sacrifices. But if you're in a relationship, like why sacrifice at the expense of 4 other people? Like this just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's just like my spiel on it. I feel like I gave 3
What if there's
different
like
takes.
a financial goal there?
Like why do we need to be intimate to have this financial goal? Like why can't we just put up money? Like why would it have to be anything like that? Like, I just don't understand. So
Like, why not?
Mhm.
Five incomes better than 2.
right,
How
but
do
like
you-
you can do that and not have like intimate relationships with all 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What
So
if all that's included? Though?
So basically, 3 of your
That's
wives
double
got
the
to be
bonus.
elderly and with the inability to function certain.
Whatever works. Whatever works. The retirement paycheck doesn't sound too much.
Oh gosh.
Next up, do we have expectations for our potential partner? No, I hate expectations.
What?
Expectations, it leads out for failure 9 times out of 10.
But what type of expectations are you talking about, though?
I mean, just expectations, period.
You're
I'm
saying you should be in a relationship with no expectations whatsoever.
yeah, like you just
going like
you just playing it by ear.
if I'm seeking out, okay, say if I'm talking to somebody, we're dating, so on and so forth, leading into a relationship, I don't have any expectations of anything from the outside looking in. Now, while we're in it, growing within it, then that's when you set certain things. But from the outside, if we're not official yet, I'm not having any type of expectations going into a relationship, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the complete opposite of what I expected to begin with. So why even place that? Why put you on a pedestal anyway if it might not turn out that way?
I'm not sure if I understand what you're telling me.
I don't
just say it
either,
again.
'cause it's
just
like-
say it again.
It's like you're going into a relationship with with a blind eye. It's
Yeah.
like,
we'll figure it out as we like go along, and like I don't see that.
Yeah,
and then
just-
like,
just
oh,
flow
if I like
into
this,
it.
this is what I'm
Why-
gonna go with.
Why have something premeditated? And what if it doesn't turn out to be that way? Like,
Then you don't need to
what's
be
the
in that
what's the
relationship.
purpose of
On to
the?
the next.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of
On
expecting
to the
something though?
next
Because
one.
like,
I'm
why
not-
would you
next
waste your
one.
time trying to figure it out or explore one another if they don't meet your expectation?
I'd rather just make my.
You rather waste that time.
Yeah, I'd rather make my observations throughout and then analyze.
And then
Because you
figure
have
out it
time to
didn't work.
spare, because you have time
then
to
figure
spare.
out
Who
it
says
doesn't
it's gotta
work.
be so time consuming?
It would be time consuming to explore and figure out somebody, and then this
No,
isn't
because
what
it's
I
the guy with
want.
the 5 wives. So
True.
when one is not
True. He goes
up
down
to
the,
his
he goes down the hall.
his standards, he just goes down the
Go
hall,
down the
around the
hall.
corner, down the
I
street right
understand.
quick, and then come back. When that
I
one's all
understand.
done,
I understand.
I'm glad y'all tagging along. So when I have this village, you guys are more than welcome.
I
Listen,
don't want to
man.
come to that fucking.
Yeah, you're
thought
gonna be the
village.
first.
me
You're gonna be
out
the
of
No,
first one with
So what? Don't tell every buddy.
with mad
Leave me out
duffel
of that.
bags like you.
Leave me out of that.
Let me
Leave
get
me
the
out of
guest
that.
house, bro.
Mm.
You want to go?
Yeah,
you want
no,
me to-
go. I'm decompressing.
I say yes. You do have expectations for a potential partner. They
Okay.
might not be high expectations, but sometimes you do expect
Yeah.
something good to come out of the relationship. You
Mhm.
expect a certain,
Is there any specifics?
I don't know, meeting like on a good, like intimate level, or picking each other's brains. You expect this person to be very decisive with what they're and would make good decisions about what they're doing.
Okay, so sorry. While having these expectations, are these premeditated before you meet the person? Or like-
No, I just think it just comes along the lines of. Well, I don't like how I said no, but it just comes along the line.
no.
Drags a little bit.
I just don't. What was the fucking question again?
He was asking-
Expectations.
Yeah, were there?
Are
It's
these
not
premeditated?
It's not pre. I think it just comes along as you deal with somebody, because now you got this good feeling going on. You want to expect that it can continue on, and I think once you get into that, you can expect for this relationship to last. You can expect for this person to be there for you. It's not it's not nothing that you have to put on a pedestal, but these are just personal expectations in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? It's because you do have expectations, whether you think you don't have expectations.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So when they fail, how do you feel about it? Like
When they fail, it just means that it's not working out between the both of you. Maybe they have a set of expectations on you, and you're not fulfilling that. And then women have no problem with washing their hands or with whatever relationship that they're in because the potential is not there anymore and the expectations are not lived up to. They have no issue doing that. Men can do the same thing, but it's just I don't think men like really pay close attention to expectations at certain times because it's just everything is in a spur of the moment. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I do have expectations for like a potential partner or somebody new that you know I'm dealing with. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have expectations for my potential partner. Like, God forbid, I expect you to be emotionally available if I'm having a tough day and I want to reach out and talk to you.
And
God forbid, like, I expect some type of communication that could be productive and help us learn about one another. Like, God forbid, I have any expectation that holds you accountable for anything. Like, I just don't see how you go through a situation where it's like, yeah, no, like, we'll figure it out. And just like, yeah, no, I'll get frustrated and annoyed because, you know, I didn't make it clear to you that this is what I expect from you. So, yeah, no, you go out 5 days out the week because we didn't talk about that and you just figuring it out on your own. Like, I just don't get that. So, yes, I have expectations for my partner. I think when you have expectations or like a set of standards, then people either meet them because they want to be with you or they don't, and then you need to figure out if you want to be with that person. Now, if you do and they don't meet the requirements that you have, then like that's a choice that you're ultimately making, and that's fine. And if you feel like they're not meeting it and you don't want to be with them, then that's fine as well. Like, you need to find someone who meets what you're looking for, and I think that's okay. But just to have like no type of boundary or like understanding of one another, I think is a little far-fetced for me. Like that's be kind of tough. So yeah,
you guys don't like the element of surprise?
No,
No.
I don't fucking like surprises.
no, not at all.
So what if she does like a nice ass gesture out of nowhere and just like, I wasn't expecting that. Then it's like, you had a totally different expectation and she did a complete opposite, like on a good note, like a good deed. Like she just,
But that,
y'all went out, she paid for a $300 bill, no problem.
Are you
Oh
saying?
shit, I wasn't expecting that.
But did you have an expectation leading up to that though?
No,
You didn't.
no,
But you said you didn't expect that, right?
right.
But you had an expectation prior to that.
Expectation of,
You tell me. I don't know. But you just said if somebody surprises you, you'd be like, damn, I ain't expect
Yeah,
that.
that's-
but
So
like,
what did
here's
you
the-
expect though?
But here's the thing: like, if you
that's,
don't,
that's the part of the element of surprise.
but how can you
No,
be surprised when you
walking
have no
into-
expectations?
That's
for
what I'm
anything?
saying. So how were you thrown off? Like, damn, I didn't expect that
Yeah.
person.
If
What was
that-
your
'cause-
expectations
yeah.
prior? Like,
That's
you
the-
expected her not to never do that?
That's something that's not in the status quo. Anyway, that's something.
But status
that's
quo
something
would
not
imply
her.
that there's an expectation of her to either not pay or to go Dutch. So status quo is an expectation. It's something that you learned in the past that like you like are prone to. Like, this is how I understand it. This is how I understand it to be. This is what's common. And so if it's not common, then it wouldn't be like an expectation. So like, how would you be surprised?
So you expected to pay half when you go to a
Right.
place and then she paid
She
for the
pays
whole thing.
all, and you're pleasantly
That's
surprised.
the element of surprise, right? Because you
Right.
expected going in a motherfucker that you paying for half your bill.
Right.
Or maybe she expected you to pay the whole damn thing,
Right.
and y'all ended up paying half. Like, damn, now her expectations is fucked up a little bit
Right.
because you didn't cover the bill.
Mm-hmm.
It's expectations in every little tiny thing that we do when
Nah,
we're
see
dealing
where
with
you're going
somebody.
with that now. I see. That's interesting. But still,
Fucking
I
knew
don't
you was
have-
about to say
I
that
don't-
too.
I don't have. I don't have.
Still.
I'm standing by what I said.
Whatever.
So last question: how can you make us feel secure and vulnerable?
Is it on a woman to make make you feel secure and vulnerable?
Is it on?
It's
them?
not something. I just thought about. Like, is it on a woman to make you feel secure and vulnerable?
Not entirely, no.
Okay.
I don't think it's entirely because
Yeah.
as a man, there's certain things about yourself that you have to feel secure about in a relationship.
Walking in anyway, right?
Yeah, walking in, like you have to feel secure about something in order to deal with somebody else. Because if you're not, and you're just this insecure person, it's not going to work out. Because every little thing that happens, every little thing that she say, every little thing that you do, and she's looking at you, you're probably like, it's too many things going through your mind when you're an insecure person. Like, you don't know what the thought process about you is or anything like that. And as far as vulnerable is a weird word to me for some reason.
Why?
Starts
It's
with a
like
V?
it's like when they catch you, like at your weakest state, or like what is it? What do you mean by
It's
this?
not when they. It's just feeling at your most barest moment,
Like with your guard down.
yeah, your most like purest form, like shit when you first wake up and you look inside the mirror, type shit. Like that's like your most vulnerable, like barest
think
moment.
that's-
That's like no.
I don't think that's your most vulnerable moment. It's just like when you're looking terrible and the person still loves you.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
Is it
just
like
like
that?
feeling.
I'll say so.
Yeah.
Okay, so a vulnerable state would be you dead broke.
Mhm.
Something happened,
Yeah.
so now what? You
Yeah.
expecting them to still be there for you
Yeah.
to make you still feel secure about yourself, or like is that a good way to look at it, or
Like the secure thing. When I think of being just like vulnerable, I think of maybe going through like an emotional time where like I'm looking for support, and normally like I don't need that. So like if I'm out and about freely doing what I need to do, like how are things? Things are good. But if if I come to you and I'm like, listen, like I'm struggling with this, like, and I'm really opening up to you and sharing things that normally like I would not share, or like people don't share commonly. And I think that's what being vulnerable is, when you just like take it upon yourself to like, listen, this is how I'm feeling, and you really open yourself up to someone to kind of see what it is, what raw emotion it is that you're going through. Like that's a vulnerable.
So be at your weakest moment, pretty much.
Weakest moment, yeah.
Most down, like
Yeah.
down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that guy, so I'm saying my shit up
But-
24.
You know,
Well,
most
25, 8.
So
the
how,
most vulnerable
I
people
get it
always put up
poppin'.
a front.
always.
I'm fronting right now. I'm
Okay.
just letting you know. I
How-
just feel like
how-
saying that.
How can a woman make you feel secure and vulnerable?
It all depends. It all depends on what's going on at the moment. It all depends what I'm opening up about. It all depends what type of emotions I'm putting out there.
You
So,
just haven't answered the question.
I'm not
What
answering
is
that
it that it
question.
takes?
I don't know. I don't have one
What
specific
is-
thing. I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
a good example for you
Right.
for me to be like, this is what she can make me feel secure about.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I can do is a financial aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just happen to go broke one day and you're just
Yeah.
there for me to make me feel like everything is okay, I feel like that's a good
Mm-hmm.
way to
Yeah.
have me feel secure, and that's at my weakest moment as well too.
Mhm.
So
Right. I
That's
concur. Just listening, just to listen, like to actual listen. I feel like some people just listen just to listen, but it's another thing to listen to understand. Like if I feel like you're listening to understand me, then that would make me feel secure and make me feel like I can come to you at any given time whenever I'm feeling down or whether I have a fucked up day. But if I just feel like it's just going through one ear and out the other, I'm going to just shut down. And that's just going to make me build up more walls and build up insecurities, which is not going to be good for anybody. But just having somebody listening to understand, that would make me feel secure and vulnerable.
is being vulnerable like crying and shit too?
Yep, it can
Could
be.
be part of it.
And she just grabs your face and wipes your tears away and be like, babe, I'm not saying this at you, but I'm just fucking saying
Yeah, this dude.
like, hey, it's all right. You know, I got you.
Yeah.
I can't. This dude.
I'm just asking a question. Like, if crying is a state
Yeah.
is a state of vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
When people are vulnerable, they can have a tendency to cry. Yeah.
Like, I put it like that.
Because like I'm not saying it's a telltale sign of like, what if you have like tears of joy? Is it the
know.
same like
I don't think I've ever had tears of joy. I think.
how can you make us feel secure and vulnerable? I mean, I think in order for me to feel secure, I just think there needs to be a level of trust that's just like unconditional, unbreakable. Like I trust that what it is that you tell me, I can believe, and what you're doing is what you're doing. Like I believe you. Like I trust you to do whatever it is that you told me you're gonna do. Or yeah, and just like vice versa. So that's how I feel secure. It's just through trust, just unconditional trust. Like I just know whatever it is that you're telling me is just like true to the best of your ability. In order for me to feel vulnerable, I just be able to have that open space where I can be vulnerable, just like open communication, just being there or being available emotionally is always gonna come through. So like if I'm having a tough time, I call you 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and you just take the time to really give me a chance to listen, then I think we can build moments where I can be vulnerable in front of you, and like you're not going to minimize that emotion, or you're not going to just like wipe it aside. Like, oh, like man up, you'll be fine about it. Like once you start to minimize my emotion, I'm never opening up to you again. Like it'll never happen.
So you don't
So,
want to
yeah.
be told to man up when you're trying to be open to somebody.
Yeah, like if I'm going through a situation where I'm like, listen, this is how I really feel about it, or this really kind of broke me. I feel a certain way about this, and you're like, oh, get over it. Ron stole your lunch from like the whatever. Like if you just minimize what it is that I feel like was important to open up and tell you, then I'm like, I'm never gonna do it again.
So do you think people try to categorize what you could be emotional about?
I don't think people try to categorize it. I think people have like a certain condition or like a historical expectation of men to be like rugged and just be strong. And so when someone's being vulnerable, maybe they're not used to that, and so they'll start to say like, oh, well, man up, or like get over it. So yeah, but
All right. Guess that's my take on feeling secure and vulnerable. I guess
Thank God.
crying is
It's an element
not
of it.
It's not okay.
You'll be all right. We all cry.
You
We
the
all been
person to
there.
be like, man up. I know that.
Who?
You.
Nah, you. That's
Probably.
you, bully. Next, we got some fan questions.
Yep.
For our closing segment.
Right. So shout out to Keisto first because he just he did the segments earlier on our, I was about to say Snapchat, on our IG.
Correcto Mundo.
Just really lobbying for some questions. I think we
Yeah.
got some questions late last night. So shout out to those people who just want to be involved and interact. Like you said, we're People's Podcast, and what you want is what we're trying to put out here. So a lot of fan questions, a lot of them personal, a lot of them public in the comment section. So just get a shout out to you. So and shout out to the people
Shout
who
out to
participated.
Q Dog, and shout out to those who commented with the questions.
Right.
We need
Yeah.
more of y'all to interact. So
Appreciate y'all. Please
get it
be more
together.
engaged so we
God
can-
damn it. Y'all on IG all day posting shit on the damn Explore page.
I'm about to start
Explore
calling people
us.
out. I'm start
Explore us.
at name such and such. What do you think about this question?
I'm going to start putting out diss tracks to all the followers
I got 16.
for 30 seconds.
Anyway, fan questions. This is our segment. So first question: what do we as men want out of life?
That's tough because we want many things.
I don't know.
What is the number one
yeah.
priority?
Peace and balance. I just really want to be at ease. Like if
Strength and guidance.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. I just really want to be able to come home after a long day at work or just after a long work week and just not have to battle you on top of just like the outside world. I just want to feel at peace, whether I'm with you, whether we're quiet, whether we're watching TV. I just want peace. And when I talk about balance, like whatever I'm struggling at or whatever I'm weak at, like be that support, be that strong suit for me so that I can then like do what it is that I need to do. So if I'm like lacking in ambition, like kick my ass one time. Just let me know like I'm fucking up and just like, hey, this is what you need to do. So yeah, so balance and peace is really what I want out of life, or just out of a relationship or just in a partner.
I concur.
Is that
Don't concur with me, bro.
does that
Oh my
correlate
God.
in a relationship and outside?
Yeah, it does. So
Okay.
like I look for it in myself, and then I look for that in a partner. Like I
Got
want to
it.
be able to be balanced and at peace with myself, and then I want you to be able to be in addition to that peace and balance. So
Well, to go off of that, I feel like a pick me up type of thing. Is something that I would
second mom, no.
No, fuck no.
Duh.
My bad.
Too soon?
My
I got a story for that question too.
My bad.
No, it's like a
Yeah.
not necessarily so much of reassurance. It's just be there for me to, for you to understand that. Look, I'm busting my ass.
Yeah.
Like, give me a pat on the back or something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not always, well, I'm doing it, so I know for a fact that I'm doing good. To hear it and to actually have somebody sit down and look you in your face and be like, you're doing a good thing, is something that I wouldn't want out of life. So
Okay.
Financial freedom for me. That's what I want out of life. Financial freedom. So I can have the ability to make the right investments and fulfill what I desire. And just like you said, peace and tranquility overall. Just have a clear head throughout the day, not being clouded with negative thoughts. Having my chakras aligned, having the aura.
I have
beam.
sage if you want some.
I don't want sage. I don't need it. It's called meditation, sir.
You don't meditate.
And weed. I do meditate. Yeah, so that's what I ultimately want out of life. Financial freedom, ultimately, so I can take care of my family and take care of business.
Got you. Why most men suppress their feelings?
I think we might have mentioned a little bit earlier, but a lot of times when men have become vulnerable or try to open up, like their feelings are minimized or they're told just to kind of man up.
So it's basically what you was talking about
Yeah.
prior to this.
And there's like a stigma as far as just kind of being open and being emotional. I mean, you know, men tend to have this idea that, oh, you're weak if you do it. So I think that's really kind of why they suppress it. It's just because they've been told to man up, or anytime they do open up, like their feelings are minimized. So that's just my take. But I had mentioned that earlier. I don't want to be repetitive.
I honestly think people don't know how to take it.
Yep.
People don't know how to accept it for the fact that you're opening up and
Mm-hmm.
you're giving your opinions of your emotions on something, or just like we talked about earlier, you're at a vulnerable state wherein you have to put some type of emotion or feelings out there. I don't think people are used to hearing it from a man.
Mm.
Like, it's, you're looked at as, well, you got this shit. Don't worry about it. Just whatever. Like, shrug it off and do what you got to do. Type
Mhm.
of thing.
Yeah.
People are not very accepting of it. So
Right.
that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not expected to hear feelings coming from men anyway, and we're taught that from like when we're young. Like, as you guys said, like when we used to fall down off a bike, get up, wipe the dirt off. You all right?
Mhm.
Like, stop crying, get the tears off your face. And we was like 4, and we became numb to that. Or like even till now, and like having nobody to vent to. From people in our comfort zone, so people that we're supposed to vent to, and we're unable to based off of that early suppressants. That's what I think causes us to keep a lot of things bottled in.
Got you. Is financial struggle and insecurity for men?
Yeah, it is. Of course it is.
It's not like exclusive to men, though.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
women have financial struggles that really put a toll on them. So, like, yeah, is it an insecurity? Like, I mean, yeah, it is, because historically men are supposed to be providers and stuff like that. But
Right,
women go through the same thing, like especially if they're the sole parent.
right.
Financial struggles really does take a toll. So it's not exclusive to men. Things is, like, it goes to anybody. It's like a general population.
Right.
'Cause it's yeah.
Well, I second that. I concur. But at the same time, I feel like I think for a financial struggle,
Yeah.
from a man's standpoint, it's basically you losing control of everything.
Mm.
And I think that it turns into an insecurity when you can't. It's hard for you to maintain that. Yeah, that's just my take on it. So
Yeah, from a man's standpoint, personally for me, because I've been through a major financial struggle just last year when I was unemployed for 8 months. When you're going through that, a lot of things plays in your head.
Does.
Risking freedom, that plays a lot in your mind. Just doing things out of the norm. It's not like I wasn't out there busting my ass, applying to jobs, going to interviews, because I've been doing that. Again, it's been for 8 months. Collecting unemployment, which wasn't doing much, and I have a daughter as well, so not being able to fulfill financially on that side as I would like, definitely took a toll on me and definitely made me insecure. So yes, financial struggle is an insecurity.
got you. Do men want to be more appreciated?
I feel like
Yeah.
men are already babied as is.
Yep.
Like, men want to be appreciated for like screwing in a light bulb, and it's like, yeah, no, but I screwed in that light bulb you asked me to do like 2
Right.
weeks ago. Like, it's just like men want to be appreciated, but I feel like if you know what you did, then it doesn't matter. Like, I
Facts.
know what I did.
Right.
I know what I did matters to whoever I did it for. Like, I don't need you to recognize me for it. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm not
Looking
zoning
forward to it,
in.
right.
Yeah, I feel like too many men look for this recognition for like really simple shit, and it's just
Right.
like, it's like you screwed in the light bulb, or like you took out the trash. Like, God forbid, my God, like
Right.
what a hero quest you went on. It's not that way at all. It annoys me.
That's valid
It
though.
just annoys me. So
That's
yeah,
valid.
like, I mean, it'd be nice, but I think what you do matters to the people, and they know that. Like, you don't
Right.
gotta tell your daughter, like, hey, like, I'm trying my ass off. Like, your daughter understands that. She
Right.
knows that. You don't need a card every day you drop her off on the bus.
That's true.
So I think it's more so victim playing, in a sense.
No, I just wanted to be.
No, because there's already there's a stigma behind men, but we as men put a stigma on ourselves as well too. It's like, okay, just like you said, if we do a certain something, we expect praise for the shit. You know what I'm saying? We expect praise for every little fucking thing that we do. And I feel like now you're playing the victim, because are you doing this because you want to hear the praise,
Right.
or are you doing this because there's some part about you that you just unsure of, like, right? You know what I'm saying?
Men will build up so much like equity and dumb shit and then use it against you. Like, yeah, no, I put gas in your car, and then like I also wash the dishes, and it's just like really
They
simple
sound
stuff.
like Jody
To
from Baby
bring
Boy.
it to bring it up in a discussion or an argument, they'll bring up the simplest of things that
This
just
my
like
house,
needs
too.
to be done. Like, I cleaned
What
up
about them gold Daytons I put on there?
just- it's
You kidding
just,
me?
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
But,
hilarious.
No, yeah.
We can honestly move on from this
Sorry,
question.
am I moving? I think I just moved this camera over here. My bad, D.
Why do men want second mothers in a relationship?
All right, quick fucking story with this one, right? So I'm at work. I proposed the question, right? I said, we're doing a new podcast, so our next thing is what men want. And I work with all women in the office. So I say about majority of them said, why do men want second mothers in a relationship? I said, explain, because, I feel disrespected right about now. And they was like, well, men constantly have women on their back about certain things that they don't do. They're not responsible at certain times. There's always an argument behind something you didn't do, something you were supposed to do. And it's always there playing the mother part of you, telling you to get your ass up and take care of what the hell you're supposed to do. So I agree with them 100% of the way. I do, but I felt disrespected at certain times when I had
Because it was honest and truthful.
because it was
and
honest
you're
and
like,
truthful,
okay.
and I'm the only guy in there,
Felt
so I feel like
attacked.
they was yelling at me.
Yeah.
But
And I told them I was gonna snitch to y'all. So
do men want second mothers though?
no, but I feel like men act as if their girlfriends are second mothers or their wives are second mothers to them. I feel like since their mothers are not in the picture in the midst of the relationship, depending on who you are, because some guys or are still mama's boys. They
Baby
still
boys,
refer to their
lot of
mothers
Jodies.
for everything that's going on, and I just feel like it's I feel like it's appropriate to ask these questions, to ask if men want second mothers, because I do honestly believe it.
Everyone, I'll go. Yeah, so I don't think men technically want second mothers, but I think when you first get here on Earth, like, you don't know anything, and how you learn love is the way that your parents treat you, and so like you learn what it is through love that your mother showed you. So whether it be yelling or like whipping your ass or just being on your back, like you learn that's the love language, and so you look for that in a partner because it's what you're conditioned to know. Like you've learned like, oh, this is how I love. Now some of it can be incorrect, a lot of it is incorrect, and you could seek out the wrong kind of traits in a person, but I think when you're shown a certain way of like, this is how love is, and that's what you expect in a partner. And so like no one wants a second mother, but you probably do look for certain traits that your mother had. Like I know my mother's really resilient, so I appreciate people who have gone through some type of like adversity and gotten through it. Like I can really appreciate that because like my mother did that, but that doesn't mean I'm looking for my mom and nobody. Like it's just certain traits that I value. So not a second mom, but like certain traits like I've learned to really love and value. That's it.
Oh, by the way, check out my Just Hear Me Talk video. I did talk about this discussion.
So 5 is live, y'all.
5.
Check it out.
Yeah, again, I don't think men want second mothers, but I do think some men want some type of direction from a woman, because I don't know.
Direction, though?
Some type of direction. Cause like some women do bring some men in, like when they're down and out for whatever reason.
So I'm trying to build a guy.
Whatever.
That's something you mean they bring us in.
Well,
They adopted us from some fucking way?
There's plenty. There's plenty. Just bring them in, just trying to like really get their foot back onto the ground, whether they getting out of jail or they just I don't know, lost a job or whatever the case is, and she's there helping them out with resources to help him get back on his feet. And I think some men actually cherish that within a woman. Just someone who has the full support and like, listen, I'm here to help you get back to where you need to be because I have that type of belief in you. And yeah.
Got you. Why are men homophobic?
Yeah.
Insecure.
Insecurity can play a part. I mean, I had a lot of people this question before because I just feel like it's really, like with the kids that I work with, they're quick to throw out gay slurs and stuff like that. So I was just trying to figure it out. But I just find it weird how men will act a certain way towards women. But if gay men were to do the same things, they'd be like appalled. So like, oh, this gay guy hit on me? Like the nerve of him. But like, yet you do it to any female that you see. And so I just really wondered why we're so apt to just like give women these cat calls and stuff like that. But if it was turned around and given to you, you would flip shit. So
I think you got to be comfortable with yourself. You know what you like. You know you're comfortable with your sexuality. You know you're a straight guy. If these things are happening, shrug the shit off and keep it pushing.
Right.
Like it's not. You don't have to be. You don't have to get disrespectful. You don't have to throw out certain names and shit like that. It happens. Like it fucking. You can go to the bar and a dude can be winking at you from just. Enjoy your night. So what I'm saying is you don't have to get disrespectful with it. It can happen, but if it happens, just go about it. There's no, you don't need to put attention on it.
Right.
You make for a good story, but you don't need no attention on it. So I just think people are, like you said, insecure with themselves when it happens. So
I said that. Yeah. Okay.
Do men want space when they're aggravated?
I personally do. I feel like if you try to catch me in the heat of the moment, nothing's going to get done. Like, it's just not going to be a productive conversation. Like, I'm in the heat of the moment. I'm not going to be open to whatever it is that you need to tell me. So give me that day to just kind of digest, evaluate all perspectives, and then I'll be better in the morning. Like, we can talk about it then, but don't catch me in the heat of the moment. If I'm aggravated, just nothing's going to get done. You'll get your feelings hurt. Like, stop.
Yep.
It goes both ways. I feel like women want space when they're aggravated too, but I feel like as men we press them like, yo, good, you good, you good,
I don't
you okay?
know. Sometimes I feel like women want to be chased. Like, I need you to actually show that you care and hit me up 3 different times throughout today. So yeah. So like, I need you to call me 3 times so I can ignore you to let you know that I'm mad. But I need you to like make those calls just so I know that you care, and that's aggravating.
That's you or the woman saying this?
That's the woman saying that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a little space is needed when you're aggravated. You just need to blow some steam off, relax, woosah, and then come to me like next week.
Yeah.
Whole week.
Yeah.
Time out.
Men do need space. Heated arguments happen often, and if I feel like we can't come to some type of solution right then and there, I am walking out the house, taking a lap, or I'm walking down into the basement to do a couple push-ups, and I will see you at dinner. Yeah, space is needed. I think just as a human generally, it's just needed. So, yep.
All right, so
Why can't men commit?
No. I don't think men can't commit. I think they don't want to. So if you're struggling to like get a man to commit to you, it's because he does not want to.
Correcto.
It isn't like he's scared. It isn't like he needs time. He does not want to commit to you.
Yep.
So either you draw a line in the sand, give the ultimatum like most women do, and then just really put the ball in his court and he'll figure it out. But like, men can commit. They're not incapable. They just don't want to.
Yep.
This is it.
Jesus, you ain't gonna represent us in a good way.
That's the
I'm
bottom line.
telling you how it is. It's honest.
Tell how it is.
Men
Yeah.
can't fucking commit because they keep options open. That's the bottom line to the shit. They don't commit because maybe this next person can come along, or they got an eye on something else. I don't know. Commitment for guys is just like they don't know what the fuck to do at that point. They don't know. They make the excuse as to in terms of they don't know how to commit to a relationship, but in reality, they just don't want to. So.
Men are just dogs. They don't want nothing to do
And you
with
said I'm not representing us.
Well, he
Men-
said women bring us in at our weakest points, like with pets or some shit like that.
Yes, I've seen it happen personally. Yeah, men are just dogs. They don't want to. They can't. It's not that they can't commit. Again, just like they both said, they don't want to. They just want to see what you're about, see whatever benefits they can get from you emotionally, sexually, and mentally, and spiritually, and dash on and transfer energies to the next.
You're such a fucking hippie.
Yep. That's why.
Do men prefer a woman who's good in bed?
Or good at
good at
cooking.
Good at cooking immediately. First of all, I struggle at cooking. So whatever your
Word?
strength is, man, listen, I'm like
fucking Gordon Ramsay out here.
I'm terrified to cook for like a
Feel me?
large group of people.
Spicy noodles.
But the thing about it is like good in bed. I feel like I'm good enough to make things good for
Bingo.
us.
There you go. That'll boy.
Just, I need you to cook.
Yo, Mr. Marcus.
But like I can't make nothing out of cooking. Like it's just not gonna be my strong suit. So I would value someone with good cooking. But
I mean,
both are a plus.
That would be a good project for the both of you guys to like both get in the kitchen and look up some recipes. And
Or both get in the bed to figure some shit out. That's
Could be bonding time. Yeah. Both of us. Yeah. There you go.
Honestly,
Y'all make it seem like we got time. We still got 2 more
Oh,
questions
yeah,
to get
that's
through.
true.
Start answering.
I'll take a woman who's good in bed.
Okay.
Good at cooking. I
You
wouldn't
know,
mind
a friend
eating.
of mine said you were gonna pick that too.
Yeah. Yes, you did. Whoever that was, hit it right, nail on the head. Yeah, I don't mind eat out, take out calamari for a week over some
Take out calamari.
Until y'all broke, and then like, then what?
some bomb sex and burn it all off.
I'll take somebody who's good in bed. I can cook, so
There you go.
I can't cook, so that's why I value it.
that's why I have Pinterest. Why do men struggle with communication?
I think I'll
Yeah,
resolve
shout out to Deja for this question because I remember that I remember her putting that in the comments.
I think it resolves back to the suppressing of our feelings because we're not used to expressing our feelings generally. That overall correlates to communication. So, like, if I'm personally going through something and I feel like you did something and I don't tell you, I'm just gonna keep these things bottled up and I can just explode out of nowhere, and you won't know where it's coming from because I didn't nip it in the bud right then in the moment where I had a problem. So just because we keep things bottled in, that's the reason why we don't communicate. The reason behind that, personal reasons, it can vary depending on the person, but yeah.
I don't think men know how to communicate at certain times. I just think, just like he said, it's bottled in, so you don't know how it's gonna come out or how it's gonna affect the person.
Yeah.
Because somebody can't know. Somebody doesn't know what's going through your head at certain times, so you can blow up at any fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't think men know how to.
I think men could be afraid of the consequence or like the reaction to just being honest with their communication. So it's just like, yeah, like I can tell you this, but maybe you blow up and like I got to deal with a whole nother situation as opposed to like just not saying anything. And then like it just keeps it calm and cool. So I think men can kind of have this fear of like, you know, what's the reaction like once I say this? So yeah, I think that's why they struggle with communication and accordance with the things that you had said as well.
Touche. Why are men scared to pop the marriage question?
They're not. They don't want to. It goes back to the same thing with commitment.
Correcto.
Yeah,
But-
but women like to fucking put a time frame on shit. Like in 2 years, I want to be engaged, married with 3 kids. Oh,
Right.
Whoa.
fine. We just got together yesterday, so I don't know how the fuck that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
I just feel like time plays a part in it, and women put, not all women,
Yeah.
some women put a time frame on things, and
Right.
it kind of bum rushes our thought process on everything. It's like,
Yeah.
you want us to pop the question. What the fuck are you doing for me to pop the question? Anything. Like,
Right.
are you doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
I think we anticipate like what's to go wrong because we hear stories, we see it all the time. Like, a new divorce happened. The wife leaves with the damn house and like 8 Lamborghinis, and this guy.
I don't got to worry about
this-
those problems.
this guy got to sleep on a cot in a damn guest house. I think those things do play into account towards why we don't want to pop the question because we anticipate of what's to go wrong. Like, what if this doesn't work out? Like, what if she would just drop it all? Like, I want to be done with you.
Also, to be completely honest and transparent, I think men are scared to pop the question because they know, like, it's all over from here. Like, you need to really step up
It's a lot of money.
and be committed to this one single person. And I think when you're not, you give yourself leeway where, like, oh, like, it didn't work out, so I was like, whatever I was doing that was sleazy was okay because I was, you know, I wasn't married. But, like, once you get married, you need to really elevate, like, the relationship. You need to really step up. You need to be a part of this because it's going to be like a lifetime commitment. I think when men hear that, they're like, yeah, nah, like they're lazy and they just don't want to step up. So,
Right. Payment plans,
Right.
money being spent.
right.
Fuck it.
Well, yeah, that's that, guys. What a awesome conversation and dialogue.
Pretty good. Good questions that you guys had out there.
Keep them shits coming when we have a new
Please
episode coming.
do.
Right. It's
That
gonna-
wraps
yeah.
up for another episode from us. It's your fellow Oxen, Federico, Mr. What's your name again?
What the fuck was you about to call me?
Mr.
You was supposed
Q.
to call him
I
Mr.
thought-
Marcus.
No, I was
I
gonna
thought
say
he was
Mr.
gonna say
Q.
Mr. Cute or some shit like
Mr.
that. Like,
Q.
Pornhub, but,
Mr. Q.
Yeah,
Whatever
just
you-
Uncle Keys today. I'll have a brand new name for y'all next week. I'm gonna like this one.
Yeah, so that should get shut down. And my boy,
Drip Daddies.
Chip Daddy C in the house.
You know it, Poppy Jugo, for those that know.
Poppy
Papi
Jugo.
Shugo. Until next
Right.
time.
Mr.
If you
Juice
knew
Ball.
better, you'd do better.
Signing out. questions that we could have avoided on here?
The yes or no questions. Anything that can be yes or no. Right. Avoid.
So, for future reference, avoid yes and no questions.
Right.
Got you.